Right, welcome back everybody to my first tutorial. As you can see here, we're going to be working with slime machines. So I figured what we would start out with before I show you some cool designs. We'll be working on two basic flying machine designs today, but I wanted to teach you a little bit about the mechanics and principles behind slime machines. But especially in this case, what honey blocks and what slime blocks can stick to and what they can't. So as you can see here, I got some obsidian. Now every one of these things, slime machines can actually fly past or move past and they won't pull them. Okay? Now some of them do break when they're pushed though via piston. So for example, obsidian can be ran right across or it can be pushed if it can be. Of course obsidian is non-movable so it can't be in this case. Whereas the new pot for 1.20, it can be ran across with slime, but as soon as a piston pushes it or another block runs into it, it breaks. So we got the respawn anchors, got your enchanting table. These grindstones make excellent uses. Campfires. So campfires are another one that slime can go across, but as soon as a block runs into it, it breaks, including with piston. It gives you back its charcoal. Monster spawners. Now this is budding amethyst, so for like amethyst farms, this is really good to know. If you run a block into it, it'll break. However, flying machines can run right past it without grabbing it. Crying obsidian, and bedrock. So to kind of demonstrate the point here, I have put a bunch of redstone across the way. We're going to activate it, so everything comes up, right? And we drop it, and nothing pulls together. So when you're using different types of machines and farms, these are some good blocks to keep in mind that you can use that won't really interfere with too much. Now here's the thing. When it comes to slime machines and honey machines, we got to be aware that they can push 12 blocks. Okay? So right now I have 13 blocks stacked on top of this piston so it's not extended. And that's the thing. That's the limit. So if we go up here and we're going to break our last block and we come down here, it should extend. I would imagine I might have to break that sign, but we're going to find out. No, let me try here. We're going to go ahead and break that. Oh, you know what it is? It's because of this. There we go. Yeah, okay, so that's another important thing to remember is as you build to the left or right, that does count with the block limit, so be careful of that, okay? So anyway, that's how basic slime and honey machines work. So now we're going to get into the fun of it. If you've ever seen flying machines, most likely you've seen them on Java Edition. They can be used for melon farms, they can be used as elevators. There's all sorts of uses for a flying machine. So I am going to actually show you how to build one on bedrock. Now some videos you may have seen that claim to be bedrock oriented, but they don't seem to work. Well, I am on an Android device, so I am literally on mobile and we can see how we can go about doing this. So I'm going to show you two different models. The first one is just using all honey or all slime blocks, and this is one of the easier ones to build, but it's not as sleek. So we're going to first off place our block, okay? Now, we need a block to be able to push. In this case, we're going to use our regular piston. Pistons can push honey blocks just fine, and nothing happens with that. I'll show you what I mean. Here we are. So we grab ourselves a lever, and we can push that, and it doesn't stick to it. The only way it would stick is if the honey moves first and grabs the piston, okay? So that's key. So we got our push mechanism right here. And then we're going to come over to the side. There we go. We need to be able to reach back and grab a different model, okay? So something to pull, push, and observe. So I think how we're going to do this, just kind of playing with it, we're going to put a sticky piston to pull here. Yeah, I think that looks good. We're going to try it. And we're going to have an observer run into it. So not that way, but like this. Definitely not that way. If we can get it right, There we go. It's harder flying around. So you see that the arrow moves into it, and every time that this observer moves, the previous piston is going to fire, and it's going to grab the blocks behind it, okay? So we're going to attach these two. So this is a whole unit right here. And we can see what happens now is if you push this, there we are, the whole unit moves and the piston fires. Make sense? So here's the trick to it, is how do we get this machine to keep going? Well, we're going to use another unit in the back of it, and we're going to just all use slime, so it's going to be the same thing opposite side, okay? So it's going to pull, as a matter of fact, yeah, this pushes, then it pulls, yeah, that's right. And I think we're just going to pull it out a little bit like this. The observer needs to face into it this time. So here's what we're going to do. We don't want this firing just yet. Here we are, just like that. Regular piston, don't use a sticky piston on this side. Okay, so this should be our machine. So the idea is that the normal piston, which is this one, pushes the whole machine. As it does, the observer detects the movement, activates the sticky piston, it reaches back and pulls the machine forward. As it does, this observer fires into the normal piston and it repeats the cycle. So let's actually make sure that this works. The easiest way to activate observers is with flint and steel. And there we have it, folks. So we have a working flying machine. So as long as you have a regular piston, sticky piston, and two observers, you can create a machine that works perfectly. Now let me show you a simpler design, a more compact design rather, that would be even more useful than that, okay? This time we're going to use 2 slime and 2 honey blocks. So a little trickier to get. You have to get you a beehive farm or whatever. So how this works here is we need a push mechanism again. Let's see if we can do that, because this is going to be a 4x4, or a 4x2 rather, design. We're going to say that our slime, our green, is go. Oops, sorry about that. And now it's raining. Boy, we just don't like, we just can't do this, can we? Alright, bear with me here. Alright, changing the weather to clear. We don't need it raining here, this is fun. Okay, so we got our push on the back side now. We have our observer that's going to face into it. So we're going to delete that. Here we are. Look at there. Just like so. Alright, so this is the basic design starting out here, and we're going to mirror it on the opposite side. Normal piston pushes the slime. Now we're going to just reverse the image. And to do that, we're going to place our observer facing in this time. There we go, that was easier. Sticky piston. Honey, honey. This is it. This is a 2x4 design, and it's tileable. You can actually set them ones next to each other, and they're not going to interfere with all. And how this works now, again, normal piston pushes, sticky piston pulls, and because honey and slime don't stick together, this will work great. Check that out. And now you have yourself 2 working slime machines that you can use for your convenience. Part 2, we're going to learn how to make the machines go back and forth by use of observers in a very specific pattern. Anyway, hope this helps you guys. Have fun with some flying machines. Thank you, and take care.